Welcome to the Penny Stock and Cryptocurrency Survival Guide. Before we get into the class itself, I want to give you a little bit of context. The class I put together several years ago, but the key thing here is that the class is about emotions and psychology. And with emotions and psychology, because we're human beings, they've always been around and they will always be around. So what you learn about has been valuable, still is valuable, and will be valuable in the future because we're humans. We're always going to have anger, greed, overconfidence, sorrow, freaking out. All those things have always been around and will always be around. And the key is when you understand those dynamics, as cruel and mean as it sounds, you can leverage those dynamics against other people. If you understand how other people are feeling, how other people are viewing different circumstances, then like I said, you can leverage that to put profit in your pocket. Yes, that sounds mean, but that's how the financial markets work. It's understanding how other people are feeling and believing and then using that to your advantage. The other note is that this course is based around penny stocks, but please realize this for you crypto traders. Anytime I say the word penny stock, you realize that you can and should replace that with a cryptocurrency. Anytime I'm talking about an exact penny stock, please realize you can and should insert in any sort of coin that you may be looking at, because the emotions and psychology is a perfect parallel between penny stocks and cryptocurrency markets. And it's a way that you need to go into surviving penny stock trading, crypto trading, or maybe you're going to do both. But you better understand how what I call the wilderness works, because if you can understand the wilderness, you're going to give yourself a way better opportunity to make money as a whole. So let's go to my desktop and let's get into the class. We've talked about the penny stock cycle as a theory, and then I just used a hypothetical example. Now we're going to look at some case studies that have actually happened. Some are still kind of going on now as I film. So, again, if you're watching this 15 years from now, you'll be able to totally see how things played out. But let's jump into some case studies, and that way everything in the course isn't theory, but we have some actual examples to base what I'm saying off of. Surprise, surprise, here we are again with this slide. You totally understand what it means at this point, so we're just going to keep on moving. Now we're going to take a look at 5 real-life case studies. First one's going to be Respect Not Fair. Next one's going to be The Kool-Aid is Strong. The next one is The Clown Show. Then we're going to talk about group plays and how you don't want to join the cult. And then The Time Trap, and just an example of how you really do need to guard your time within the penny stock wilderness, because it's very easy to waste it. So respect not fair. Hopefully you remember this. This was the saying that I gave about the detective bashers. And now I want to take a look at a detective basher who is just laying into one of these companies and just, bad post after bad post in terms of, they're drops of water trying to dilute the Kool-Aid, of reality. So best way I can illustrate this is just look at, the dates and times over here. Just constantly, day after day. Then you can look over here. Talking about lawsuits, scam, huge fees. They don't file with the SEC. The CEO's paying for promos and then he sells into them, meaning he dilutes into them. Lawsuit, dilution, reverse splits, promos. Just the word scam again, scam, all this stuff. And it just is going over and over again on the stocks board, which is MYEC. So all these posts just keep on coming from this detective basher. But this is from their profile. So this is just one detective basher. It's not like this is all from different ones, all from the same person. Oh, hey, look more, even more. So again, look at the dates, just day after day. The CEO lost and he refused to pay, huge fees. It seems like they're just repeating themselves a lot with this stuff. So this one is probably maybe more of a bidder / detect. Maybe they have an axe to grind. But I've looked at the post and they throw out plenty of links and stuff like that. 3.9 million deficit. That's never good for the fundamental. So you get the point. They are just bashing, and they are a detective basher. They're not just baseless claims. They're backing up everything that they have to say. And then add on top of things, this actually comes from somebody else, another detective basher. So there's 2 detective bashers on the board. This, post here, the CEO filed for bankruptcy. So they're applying, financially irresponsible, not even fit to run this fake business, which is kind of funny because it probably is a fake business. Anyways, that's besides. Point being, this is not a favorable post. Who cares whether or not it's a fake business? Maybe it is a fake business. Maybe it's like Billy Bob and, they're really trying genuinely to build a business. But they made a pretty bold claim there. People that file for bankruptcy, then become CEOs. Yeah, that's a bit kind of sketchy. And then if I clicked on that link, and you can see right there, it's a PDF. So it's a file that shows, this person's the CEO when they did file for bankruptcy. So, that is not a baseless claim. They are backing stuff up, providing proof that, the CEO of this company has filed for bankruptcy. So you see, all these postings from the previous two slides, you got that detective basher, you got this detective basher, they're just wailing on the company. And this is why we need to respect them. We need to monitor the Kool-Aid gauge, but this is why we do not fear them. And keep in mind these dates. So 3/16 is when, this post showed up, and then the other detective basher we were looking at, they've been bashing every single day for the past, many days after this date here. So let's take a look at what happened though. So that bankruptcy post, yeah, that was made down here. And then all this period here, where the price is going up, that's when that other detective basher is sitting there, scam, huge fees, CEO, blah, 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 didn't pay the court case, huge deficit, all that gibberish, everything's going on. And he's doing all that bashing during this portion as the price continues to go up. This is why, yeah, we need to respect him, but we're not scared. If the Kool-Aid is strong and if the belief is strong, like it is here, then this is still possible, and this happens all the time. At some point it'll run out, but for this time, imagine if you saw that bankruptcy post right here and you got scared and sold. Just for the only reason if you saw that one post. That means you don't understand Pennyland, you don't understand the Kool-Aid gauge, and you don't understand how things work. You don't understand the human emotion. But we now, as penny stock survivalists and bow hunters who are standing out here, so there we are standing out here. Oh, this is going to be ugly. So there's an eyeball. Ooh, this is bad. And there's our binocular. We're looking in here, seeing, and we're saying, all right, well, yeah, there's this bankruptcy post, but what does the Kool-Aid gauge have to say? And then we can just see that the belief just keeps on going. The Kool-Aid is strong. And despite the basher trying their best to just present facts, hey, look, here's the actual physical document. This CEO has filed for bankruptcy. And yeah, from a fundamental perspective, that's not a good thing. You don't want to see that. But when the Kool-Aid is strong and when the Kool-Aid is flowing, that stuff's going to get overrun. So moral of this story here in this case study, respect the detective bashers. They are good at what they do. They're good at researching and finding stuff. But there's only so much they can do if a tidal wave of Kool-Aid is flowing at them. All right, in our next case study, this is going to show just how strong Kool-Aid really is. Quick little review. Actually, not a review because we haven't talked about these, kind of accounting terms. But just to make things super straightforward, assets are good because, just assets are good. I'm going to leave it at that. Liabilities are bad. So just keep that in mind. And this is taken directly from a penny stock company filing. It was taken from their 10Q, and a 10Q is just one sort of SEC filing. That's all that is. So let's just read through it. As of January 31st, 2014, we had, and this is, it's a filing, so the company's just publicly, because they're a publicly traded company, so they need to publicly announce, how things are, where their company status is, all that good stuff. So this is being made publicly. So we'll start again. As of January 31st, 2014, we had $25,000 in cash, okay, $5,147 in accounts receivable, which is an asset, and $10,428 in inventory, which is another asset. So their total assets, which is good, is $85,154. That's what they have in total assets, which is the good stuff. Now, look at this number. $2,865,555 in total liabilities, the bad stuff. $85,000 of the good stuff, $2.8 million of the bad stuff. Not to mention they have a working capital deficit, and then this line is always pretty eye-opening too. Our accumulated deficit from our inception on June 21st. So going back to Billy Bob, maybe this is when Billy Bob started, in the mining company. Then he went to Apple's, and now he's in the pottery business. So he's reporting this during the pottery business. So this could cover the span of all sorts of different ventures. This company has been around for, 7 years now, but who knows how many different business sectors they've been in. They're just going to be jumping around from hot one to hot one. But anyways, so from this period here, their accumulated deficit, a deficit is not a good thing. That is just basically a debt, is $10.6 million. Are you serious? Okay, that's a big number in the wrong direction. And remember, their total assets are $85,000. I mean, talk about just a drop in a bucket. That is just, I mean, it's staggering. It's mind-boggling how bad these numbers are. And of course, this was funded primarily through equity, which means selling of shares, and debt financing, which is all, the financiers, the complex paperwork, all that stuff. That's how they've been paying for this deficit, is through equity and debt financing. This is their nice way and legal way of saying we funded it through diluting. That's just what all this means. With primarily through equity and debt financing, that is the nice way of saying that this is what was going on. Diluting. So you see these numbers and you're like, holy smokes, that is ugly. This company is toast. This company is dead in the water. Well, let's take a look. And I should note real quick that, it was released. So this came public, hit the news wires, hit the SEC site, all that good stuff. It was known to the public on 3/24/14. So let's just disregard this already massive run that this company went on. So the Kool-Aid was flowing. It came out, and then look at this. Little drop. The Bashers probably had some stuff to talk about. I'm sure the company was releasing other news, though. And then look at this. The price has now gone to new highs. If that isn't just strong Kool-Aid, I don't know what is, but those numbers were horrendous. And that just shows that when there's belief, people will come up with any sort of excuse for any sort of terrible, terrible numbers. And yep, got a little pullback there. You can believe that the pumpers were just blaming this on the shorts, blaming this on, manipulation, just all this other, forget about the numbers. This was it was just a disaster. But look, the Kool-Aid had a little blip in it, nothing, major. And now at the time of this, you can see the price is now at all-time highs, and that is immediately after. So this was one day here. Came out, little bit of a bump downwards, and now the next day up to new highs. So just unbelievable, but it shows why we don't care about any of that fundamental crap, why it's funny to know, but why it doesn't matter, because numbers aren't going to get worse than that. Yeah, look at this company, still on, chugging higher. Okay, this is probably my favorite case study just because it covers so many things, and it really just shows. Let's just get started. I'm calling it the clown show, but within the clown show, we're going to cover 3 different case studies, with that we've talked about. So, I've said that management, they're not the smartest people. They're not the brightest bulbs in the box. Well, hey, what gives you the right to say that? This is an actual press release that came out. And, I've been in the market now 6, 7, 8 years. I don't know. And so I've seen a lot of stuff in the penny stock market. Never seen this. So yes, I'll admit this is kind of on the extreme end, but it really goes to show what sort of people are out there running these penny stock companies. So this is an actual headline that the CEO chose to use. And before we get to it, you've probably already read it, but could you imagine the firestorm it would create if like a mainstream CEO came out and did this? Like, just think of a big company and then think that they release something like this that goes out on the public news wires. People would be like, are you kidding me? So this company, who was in like the media industry or something, they announced a highly anticipated. See, companies do it too. Look at these nice little words, and I've never heard of this person, whatever. But it's supposedly highly anticipated. Those are good adjectives, though. So you better believe they're going to use them. The release date of whoever this person is, debut, fill in the blank there. My life. This is in the headline, the public headline. They're putting in the title of the song, which is "This My Life." Are you stupid? Apparently so. It's just one of those things that is totally mind-boggling. Not the smartest people. Not only from... They're just not smart. Why would you would put that in a press release headline? Why you would even report on this? And claim that is the highly anticipated release? Hopefully that speaks for itself, because I really can't describe it any more than just showing you and letting you draw the conclusions and understand that this was the public headline on a public news release. Wow. This case study here, I've entitled here within the clown show, From Mining to Apples. And hey, Billy Bob, is that you? Maybe you're related to this guy. I don't know. But so here we have ticker symbol PMCM. Their company description on 2/19/14. This is taken straight out of their news release. So PMCM is a fully integrated multimedia entertainment and real estate development company. So that's a little shady already. So you're in the multimedia entertainment, and then you also develop real estate. I remember when real estate was really popular a few years ago before that whole bubble popped. But anyways, we won't go there. They are a fully integrated, multimedia company and real estate company. Okay, fine. And then I'm not making this up. And you can see the date down here, February 24th. So literally 5 days later, and they're very pleased to announce this song. They just had a massive press release about the entertainment industry. They're all, and I'm not making that up, right here, pleased to announce. So they are pleased to announce this big development. And then literally 5 days later, PMCM enters into joint venture with CanMed to build 30,000 square foot license facility in British Columbia for cultivation of medical marijuana. Okay, and I mentioned this earlier in the course. Right now, at the time of this filming, medical marijuana, that is or just marijuana in general, really, that's the current hot sector. I mean, it is smoking hot right now, and that's what's going on. So interesting. Going from mining to Apple. So 219, you're talking about how pleased you are in something with the multimedia, and now all of a sudden you're doing a joint venture with a medical marijuana company? Huh. And then here's a quote from the press release. This is the most exciting announcement in the history of the company. So it went from being super, excited. Remember those words that they used in that press release about that song in the entertainment industry? They were all excited about that. And now 5 days later, this is the most exciting announcement in the history of the company, stated the CEO. Primco has made a corporate decision to become a major player in the medical cannabis industry, and the construction of a facility of this nature is our first step in building a $100 million company. All right, sign me up. Billy Bob, are you related to this guy? We are extremely excited to be partnering up with CanMed. So again, so they're in a business here where something that they're doing is highly anticipated. Not my words, that's their words. I'm just taking them at their words. There's something in their business is being highly anticipated. All I know is that from a business standpoint, if I'm doing something and it's highly anticipated, I would think that I'm going to keep doing that because I must be doing something right if people are highly anticipating it. And then we look here, it's already highly anticipated, and that's by the public, so of course, and then they are pleased to announce it. So if I am pleased to announce something, it's because I don't want to hide it, and it's because I'm excited to do it. Now, sometimes people make announcements and they don't want to, but if you're pleased to announce something, that implies that you're excited about it. Again, these are not my words. These are not assumptions that I'm making. This is taking things word from word. And then 5 days later, the most exciting announcement in the history of the company. Okay. And then they're now doing this to become a $100 million company. So 1 month, and I've talked about this, they've been so excited about their music business. Now this comes out in another press release 1 month later. So at least I didn't do it like another couple days later. And this was just like a general update of the company. Prior to this year, the company was involved in real estate management and development, music production and distribution, and feature film production. This year, the company has announced a redirection. I'm pretty sure that word has been used before, redirection, in its real estate business with an emphasis on providing locations and services to marijuana-based companies. Oh, didn't I say that was kind of the current hot sector? They have more artists coming on board with their music production and distribution arm, but have lessened the emphasis on the film industry. I wonder why they've lessened the emphasis on their media business. Maybe because it's just not that hot compared to the marijuana business? I don't know. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm using too much common sense there. Maybe I'm just an evil basher and thinking like that. I don't know, but we shall see. Again, all this 3/27/14, ticker symbol PMCM. So check me out, see where this company ends up going. Now again, I've entitled this one Anticipation Kills, just transitioning kind of to more of laughing things to just show that remember, there's two types of dilution: potential dilution and then pizza slicing dilution. We've talked a lot about pizza slicing. That's what Billy Bob was doing, and that's a massive part of the penny stock cycle. But anticipation, that can be one of those kind of minor things that'll usually pop up somewhere, or could pop up in the penny stock cycle. But it's something where it just shows that everything is forward looking. Everything is all about what can you talk about. If somebody has a good talking point, somebody being defined as either the bashers or the pumpers, then that talking point can be extremely leveraged. So here, PMCM, they announce preliminary Form 14C, so that's just SEC paperwork, to increase authorized shares. Now remember, increasing authorized shares is not doing anything to the outstanding shares, and therefore it's not doing anything to the float. Now, it's potential dilution, but this is where things start to unfold here. So bluntly put, in other words, there has been zero dilution that has taken place. Nothing has changed. All they're doing is increasing their authorized shares. And then this slide shows the history of things. 2/19, that is when that press release was put out, that the anticipation of dilution, and really just hit everybody, and people did not like that. You can see people did not like it one bit. Right here, behind closed doors, CEO, oh crap, that was not a smart press release. Now this is speculation. I don't know that. That's totally speculation on my part, so I'll fess up to that. But something like that. That's the emotion and psychology during this part, behind closed doors. So then all of a sudden, and this is, according to the dates that have been, announced, time to announce a redirection so he can stop the bleeding, So here is where the redirection starts to get announced, and then the pumpers show back up. Hey, we're no longer in the entertainment real estate business. We're in the marijuana business. And then boom. And remember from over here when he announced that they were going to be increasing their ability to dilute, getting more authorized shares. Well, now you can see that during this run here, dilute. I'm sure that's what was going on. There was something going on, but just amazing, the psychology here. Music business, and then boom. People didn't like just the threat, the anticipation. Time to announce the redirection, and then there we go, and that's more than likely where the dilution was going on. Again, if you're a big PMCM fan right now because you just got the course and it's only been a couple weeks, yeah, you could call me a basher, but if you're somebody that's watching this 15 years from now, I'm very curious to see if this ticker symbol even exists. My guess is it's got one of those FKAs next to it, formerly known as, but we shall see. That's just pure speculation on my part. Now, one thing as you progress through Pennyland that you're going to notice is group plays are very popular. You could get approached at some time, especially if you're on the message boards or chat rooms, even social media. And basically a group play is where they can take different shapes, but it boils down to this. There is a leader. He is the head of the group. Then the leader may have some quote unquote generals below them, and that is the core of the group. And then they try to build out from the group, and they just try to create a group, and their thing is, we're going to work together, we're going to focus on the same stock, we're all going to buy it, and and then everything is going to go well. Well, yeah, that goes well for the people that are at the top of the pyramid, but as far as the people that are buying later on, well, not so good for them. So for this, I don't have too much other than just a very famous one, and something where it's just broken down in detail. Like if you want to see how a group play and how a form, now they're all not going to take this same, or they're not going to use the same things. I mean, this one they had, in this example, the term they used was a float lockdown. It was a very fancy term. There was some good theory behind it, but group plays, point being is there's going to be a stock or a few stocks where that's what the people at the top are saying. Hey, this is what you need to buy. This is the great company. And everybody in the quote unquote group buys, and it goes up. Now, what I'm saying here is don't avoid group plays. That's not what that says up here. All I'm saying is don't join the cult. And if you think a cult is a strong word, just read through this, do your required homework, which I'll talk about here in a second. But don't join the cult. Don't become one of the Kool-Aid drinkers. Kool-Aid comes in two forms. One is the one we've been talking about. The other one is actually where it came from, as we've learned, from the cult. Some of these people believe so much in the group that they totally forget about the company. They don't care about the company because they trust in the people telling them what to do. That is very, very dangerous ground to walk on, and it's one of those things where you got to be extremely careful. However, we're going to see in this one, group plays, looking in from the outside and then riding coattails, that can be very beneficial. And yeah, the group plays, they're going to look at you like you're the biggest scumbag. We're doing all this hard work. We have a family here. We are just working hard and as a teamwork. And then here you come, you little flipper. You're jumping in and out of our play. You're evil. You're screwing things up. Own that all day long. Absolutely, that's what I'm doing. Keep that Kool-Aid away from me. You, sir, you, ma'am, are straight up in a cult right now, and you are brainwashed by whoever the leader at the top of this cult is. So, that's how they work. That's their core. So optional homework, but I'd really encourage you to do it. And I say it's optional. It's not optional. Read it. It's a very good read, and the SEC here, who is the Forest Ranger, they do a great job, and they break things down in detail about not only how this particular group play worked, but how it all played out, and just all the scumminess that was going on with it. And like I said, not all group plays are going to follow this one exactly, but one thing or two things you can count on: the emotions and the cultish attitudes. They pertain to all group plays. Again, we have our pyramid. There's some sort of leader up here. And then he's got, a couple other, inner circle people. And then that just keeps on going down and down. And it just keeps on playing out and out. Now, you're probably thinking, well, hey, don't you have a group called the Inner Circle? Aren't you a cult leader? Valid point. And I just used the word. And as soon as I said that, I thought, you know what? That probably wasn't the best choice of words. But I was going to address this point anyways. I would say no, absolutely not. If anybody's ever joined my Inner Circle group, you will see that one of the key rules in the group is we do not have group plays. We do not we just don't do that, because group plays sound good in theory. If we all work together and buy, the price is going to go up. Correct. But remember, buying is only half the equation. You still have to sell. So who are the people at the very bottom? Who are they going to sell to when everything's out? I mean, it's a game of musical chairs. And again, I understand that if you're not a part of the group right now, you wouldn't know this, but all I can say is you're more than welcome to join, absolutely. But you'll notice real quick that there's all sorts of ticker symbols flying around. Big boards, penny stocks. There is not 2 or 3 stocks that are only allowed to be talked about. And if you talk about anything else, it's an automatic piece of junk. That is not how the Inner Circle works. So again, a poor choice of words on my part, but I wanted to address it anyway, so I just addressed it there. So again, yeah, I could see how you would say, well, you're being contradictory here because you have a special group. Yeah, it's a group, but we're just traders. We're just alerting the people. This is what we're doing. We're looking for the group plays, and then we're saying, hey, let's all go ride their coattails. That's what my group does. We are coattail riders. We are looking for the cults. We are looking for the people drunk on Kool-Aid, and then we are using them for our advantage. Yeah, that probably sounds mean, but that's what we're doing. We are definitely, we are not doing group plays. We are just trying to find where the group plays happen. And, we are riding those coattails. And, the group play people probably would not like us because we are not drinking any Kool-Aid. We are just exploiting them for their stupidity and falling into, the cult themselves. I mean, and as you'll see, this will all make sense. But in a nutshell, if you're a part of the group, then you already know this to be true. But if you're not, my group, the Inner Circle, is nowhere close to what I'm talking about here. And especially when you do the required homework, I have attached a PDF entitled Group Plays. Read that. It's pretty long, but like I said, goes over things in detail. So back into the case study and back into, this is a part taken from the document that is attached. So it's from your homework. But this, like I said, this leader decided to call these things float lockdowns. And from this one, the Green Oasis, this happened from February 2010 through July 2010. So let's go through the history of this team play. And, this is definitely the exception, not the rule. Usually the group plays, never mind, pretend like I didn't say that. I'll address that here in a second. So according to those dates, this one, ticker symbol GRNO, it started around February 2010. And if you look at the chart, the chart was right around 8 cents at that time. And then it said it went through July 2010. And look at that, from 8 cents all the way up to 71.5 cents. And I can tell you this was on very big liquidity. This was a huge cult, like mammoth. Usually they don't get this big. And that's why the SEC actually looked into it, because this got huge. And I mean, it was massive. Anybody that was around during this time, I'm sure they know the term float lockdown. Now it's used as mockery, like, oh, there must be a float lockdown going on. But during this time, huge cult. And it was, if you said anything bad, it was just, all I can say is it was a cult. All you have to do, never mind, I'm getting ahead of myself again. But just know that it was a huge, huge cult. And one where it was pretty fascinating, and that's why the SEC got involved. But anyways, remember what I was saying about how my group, what we try to do, we try to just find the Kool-Aid. We try to find where there's a ton of belief. And if from 8 cents up to 71.5 cents is not a bunch of belief, then I don't know what is. This thing was just, this is what we're looking for, but we are by no means part of the group, part of anything like that. We just look for these. Again, let's do this. So here is the food chain. We are on the outside here. We look for moves like this, and then we find them. Hey, look at all that belief. Wow, the Kool-Aid is flowing strong. And then we try to make money out of it. That's what the Inner Circle My Group is all about. So again, by no means are we, don't join the Inner Circle thinking that, you know, you're gonna come and be told what to buy and that everybody's buying it, and that, you know, it just doesn't work like that at all. So now let's just go through the history of things, because the price is going to tell us a story. So this is the time that the SEC was talking about. Then here, obviously, things start to get rocky in this penny stock cycle. You know, this penny stock cycle just happened to be a group play, so there's a call. But everything's still the same. Instead of, you know, behind the scenes being Billy Bob and management, behind the scenes was this cult leader. And actually, as you'll see in the case, the cult leader got together with companies, and then they colluded with one another and started to help each other out. So this was actually kind of a combo, cult leader and company management working together to make all this stuff start to happen. So, but that's what happened here is the penny stock cycle. And then step 10, dead bodies. And then you can see here, you know, this is where people are thinking, you know, what happened to the we are all a team stuff? But this is what happens with all group plays. This one played out over many months, but sometimes this will happen in a day. You know, we're going to do one and a boom and straight back down. Sometimes this could be a week, sometimes a month. This one went multiple months. So group plays, it can all, it can be a different period, but that's why we use our Kool-Aid gauge. As long as we're measuring Kool-Aid, then we have a grasp on just, you know, how well the group play is going. And remember, even at the end of the day, who really cares if it's a group play? As long as the Kool-Aid's there, that's all we care about. As long as the belief's there, that's all we care about. You know, where the belief is coming from, yeah, sometimes it's kind of entertaining to know, but at the end of the day, it does not matter. And then you can see now, below 2.5 cents. And actually, I think this ticker symbol has officially been suspended and doesn't even trade anymore. But regardless, read that document and just understand that we are here to ride the coattails of group plays and all that stuff, but don't join the cult. Don't avoid, but don't join the cult. That's the big distinction here. Just follow that belief, but don't follow any cult leaders. And then for the final case study here, the time trap. There's a lot of stupid people in the world. And when you consider the penny stock wilderness, it's pretty crazy. I've already touched on this a lot. And, you know, just kind of a personal confession here is, you know, one of my biggest early struggles, and I still struggle with it to this day right now, is that, you know, Pennyland, it's one of those things where there's so much time wasted out there that I'm personally wasting. It's just stupid. It makes no sense because the people that I'm debating with they're just literal idiots. I mean, I don't know how else to get around it. You can listen to me right now stumbling over my words. I waste so much time, and I really struggle to potentially waste so much time with just so many stupid idiots. But the one quote that really keeps me grounded, kind of keeps me in reality, and just keeps me focused. And I try to search to see where this actually came from, but there's all sorts of people that got attributed to the quote. But anyways, never argue with an idiot. They drag you down to their level, and then they beat you with a lifetime's worth of experience. So that's what I have to tell myself a lot. And just to set this up, maybe you learned about me from video charts. I do video charts, and some people, welcome to Pennyland, think that I do a video chart because I then short the next day in order to drive the price down. Forget the fact that, it's probably 50-50. 50% of the stocks go up after a video chart, 50% go down, maybe skewed one way or the other. But that's their theory, is instead of blaming anything else that we've talked about in this entire course, no, those people choose to blame a video chart and me. That's hopefully you're laughing saying that's the dumbest thing ever. I agree. Now, let me take it on. Do most people think this? No, absolutely not. But are there people out there that do? Yes. And it's one of those things where I like to try to debate with these people to just understand their logic. But as you're going to see here, it's just a total waste of time. So on a message board, I get this private message after I've done one of my video charts. And on the video chart, I did SUTI. And this person right here, and notice I'm not blocking out their name. I really don't care. If you see this person, I'll just let their actions speak for themselves. I'm not going to tell you anything. Let's just go through things. So I did a video chart on SUTI, and then I get this private message you're such an a-hole going around posting your, and then insert some bad words there, video charts, then shorting on the stock. I hope karma plays in your pathetic life. So I posted a video. They're not happy about it because they think that I'm shorting. Well, they're telling me what I'm doing. They're first calling me a name and then calling my charts, whatever. And all you can do is laugh, and then shorting the stock, and then they're hoping karma plays in my pathetic life. So I guess to them, I am like a no-life basher or something like that. I reply, and I'll be the first to admit, this was all happening during the construction of this course. So I was trying to sucker them in a little bit. I was like, this can make a great example. So let me see if I can, poke the bear a little bit and get this person to keep on talking to me. So there's my full disclaimer there. This didn't quite happen naturally, but this has happened multiple times over. So, but in this case, yes, I was goading a little bit. Anyways, LOL, boom, I'm laughing at him. Yeah, that's exactly what I do, you moron. Have you not seen all the charts that have gone up after I post? Wow, you are dumb. Again, probably not the most polite reply, but I needed to get this person fired up a little bit so I could have a nice little example for my course. Now, what's funny about these people is, my guess is this Fingers person is both, he's an ego person, and he's, I don't really know what he is, but he's got a lot of ego in him. I don't even know if it's ego. It could just be, do you see what I mean about just literal idiots? Like, I don't even know how to describe them. It could be ego, but I think it's just that they think they know it all. And so it's ego. It goes back to that Albert Einstein quote. This person is one of those people that Albert Einstein is talking about. Anyways, and this sums it up perfectly. So they go on to say, they all go down, all. Okay? They all go down after you post. I know someone who knows you personally, and he knows you bring shorters in. I watch those stocks you post on. So this person knows someone who knows who that someone is, and this someone knows me personally. That's news to me because I can't say that I have any personal friends. I have lots of people that I'll talk with and stuff like that, but personal as in like, hey, let's go hang out. Can't say that's the case. And he knows you bring shorters in. So this person that knows me personally, like we're personal friends, he's supposedly ratting me out to this person because this ambiguous person knows that I short. Do you understand just how, asinine and stupid this is? So I reply, and again, I admit I'm trying to sucker him in for more for the sake of this example. Knows me personally. Really? Well, let me fill you in on something. I hope you don't consider this person a friend because they are 100% or 110% lying to you. And then I ask him the question, all. So all of them go down after I post. You sure you want to stick with that word, all? I'm trying to sucker him in again because, this can be proven just 2 seconds that all is not the case. Do some of them? Absolutely. But to say that all of them go down, that's a pretty bold statement. But, again, this person knows it all. And, it's one of those things where in their mind, in their world, the world revolves around them. So, of course, everything matters and everything is all to them because, they're just delusional. So now that the market is open, and the stock starts to go down. Starts to go down for who knows what reason. I can assure you I was not shorting the stock because you'll see later on about that. But regardless, I was not shorting, but it starts to go down. And then, great example here of one thing that we know they at least are is a bitter basher. So at one time, this person was all about the stock. They're on there getting mad at me. You're going to start shorting it. Why would you do that? Calling me names, all that stuff. So they clearly owned it and they were trying to protect their stock. They had a delusion of what was going on. And then all of a sudden, on that same day, they're sitting here saying, basically implying that is a reverse split coming. Reverse split, not good. Remember, that's what Billy Bob does. Reverse split and penny stocks, those are not two things you want to hear in a sentence. But now all of a sudden, they've gone from, being very protective of their quote-unquote investment to right here. Now they're trying to imply. And trying to apply a negative thing. So they're trying to dilute the Kool-Aid here. And then this person asks him, SUTI is not on your... Okay, so it looks like they're giving some potentially bogus information because this link here, this person is saying, hey, that ticker symbol is not on the list you provided anywhere. And then he says, you were all for SUTI not too long ago. What happened? And then you can see right there is a reply. So let's see what this person, replied to this. So again, looks like they're giving some bogus link here, a very big sign of being bitter.
And then this person calls them out and says, they were all for SUTI not too long ago. So then the reply here, what happened is all these pump groups came in to make everyone dough. But it's obvious at this point the company doesn't give two bad word about the shareholders, or they would have provided an update for us. They are so deep in debt that when I asked IR about any reverse split coming, his answer was the CEO is not sure whether he wants to do one or not. I believe that. That's probably what a CEO would say. I don't know what I want to do. And then it says, what does that tell you? Careful here now. So it went from being all for it, blaming me, and then when somebody asks him, what changed your mind? What happened? He lists a bunch of valid things. Like, I would probably agree that all that happened, and it sounds like that's an answer that I think a CEO would give. Well, good, congratulations. Hopefully you can hear me clapping there. This poster finally realized that they were wrong about shorters, and they were wrong about me. That's their whole video chart thing. That was way out of line. That was stupid. Okay. They accepted the fact that it was management team that was not so prepared, and that's why the price has been going down. Right? That's what you would think. They then send me a private message later on, and they're saying, and this was after, all that admitting of stuff, great job in SUTI. You're either fraudster, shorter, or you're an idiot who posts that, and I'm having trouble reading because their punctuation is terrible. Great job in SUTI. You're either fraudster, shorter, or you're an idiot who posts that video garbage that people don't even care about, and you lose your ASS. Both are not good. I feel sorry for the sad life you must lead. I'm sure no woman nor man would stay with you, in my opinion. Well, that was nice of him. At least he didn't have it come across as a fact. He put it in as an opinion. So I think that everything speaks for itself here. But do you see what I mean? Like, why don't... well, let's just, I guess, finish up. There's two conclusions here. This person is indeed a literal idiot, or this person is just trying to play with my mind. And this is, again, more penny stock irony, which I love. Didn't they just tell me that I have a sad life, yet they're the ones here trying to play with my mind? Don't you have anything better to do with your time? I mean, I personally think it's option number one, but we'll give them the benefit of doubt. Maybe it is option number two, and they're just trying to play games with me, play with my mind, play head games, all that stuff. But again, that leads to that little bullet point, which is just makes the person look stupid again, because what they're telling me I have a sad life, and then that's how they spend their time. It's just a total joke. So all these conclusions, the outcome is the same. Don't waste your time talking to people such as this. Don't debate. That's why you want to be a bow hunter. That's why I do my best to be a bow hunter. Sometimes I'll admit it, I struggle, and I'm just like, wow, this person is stupid. Let's have a little debate with them. But most times I just laugh and it's over it. But boy, oh boy, can this stuff really suck time out of your day. You're sitting there typing up all their replies, and there's just stupid people out there. You need to know that. Sometimes you just got to remember, if you argue with an idiot, they're going to drag you down to their level and then beat you with that lifetime of experience. And you just laugh at them, move on, say, you know what? Whatever, I'm just going to keep my eye on the Kool-Aid gauge and leave it at that. That's, a huge trap out there. Message boards, social media, all that stuff. Boy, oh boy, there's some true characters out there. You just need to avoid them, laugh at them, and keep your eye on the Kool-Aid gauge. So 5 different case studies, all showing different attributes of what we've talked about. And there's numerous more. And that's what I'm going to talk about in
Well, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please do a couple things for me. Hit that like button and leave a comment below, even if you just say thanks. Also, go to claytrader.com/team, and if you want to join my private community that's got all sorts of added benefits, you can learn more at that link, then please join. I'd love to have you. It's very cost effective, and like I said, if you want to surround yourself with other quality, like-minded people such as yourself, then I hope you give it some consideration. But again, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and leave a comment down below.